Hey, that's some nice ink, homie. Hey, who did that? What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So, a lot of people have somewhat of an understanding of how dangerous tattoos can be in the California prison system, especially if you're Mexican. So one of the things that people are aware of is there are a lot of tattoos. There's specific tattoos in the California prison system, in the California criminal world, that if you have those tattoos on you, you're sending a message, right? You're sending a message that you are a part of something and that you have earned those basically badges of honor. A problem is there's vatos, there's guys that went to the joint, put in that work, made those obligations, earned that ink, that war paint is what we call it, earned that war paint. Then they paroled. Some of them are lucky enough to parole, and they're running around in the neighborhood, and they have little homies that see the influence, the authority, the power, the charisma of these individuals, but they also notice the tattoos. And these kids want to emulate these dudes that they're seeing. And so while they may not have the charisma, they obviously don't have the authority, the power, the influence, what they think they can get, which will like give the impression of something, or just because they think something looks cool, is the same tattoo. And so they'll go to a shop or a homie in the neighborhood, a kid their age probably, that's never slung ink before, and he's that guy that wants to practice on everybody, and they get these certain tattoos. When they get these tattoos, they're running around with dudes their age, dudes that may not know any better, but they still have it on them. And then, living the lifestyle that they're living, they wind up incarcerated. And as soon as they hit a yard, people are looking. One thing about the joints out here, and it may be the same everywhere, but out here, when you converse with somebody, when you first meet somebody, you are taking in the whole package, right? You're taking in the ink. What type of ink do they have on them? How good is the ink on them? Because that says a lot about how that person is respected within the system, whatever yard he was on, whatever, right? You're also taking in scars. You're looking for scars. Does this person have a scar in an area where it would be obvious it was probably a prison hit? If they have their shirt off, it's easier. If they have their shirt on, you're looking in the neck, in the face area. And you're doing all this in seconds. And everybody knows when they get somewhere, especially if you're not known, your reputation may be, but anyways, there is that initial scan, right, of ink and scars. So if you see a dude who's 19 years old and he has these certain tattoos on him, then you're gonna be like, hey homie, where you just starting your time, eh? Yeah, I just came from the reception. Is that right? How much time you got? They are now starting the whole process of, you got some work you need to do. Initially, they're not going to say it. They're just filling out, okay, who are you? Your paperwork has already been checked in the fish tank, but this individual's going to be like, who are you? Is that right? Oh, is that right? How much time you doing? Okay, cool. And then it will come around, maybe, a few days, week, two, be like, hey, where'd you get that tattoo at? And you'll start that thing now. So people have an understanding of that, the dangerousness of that whole thing, right? But here's another part of the whole tattoo game, the whole ink game in the joints in California that I think people aren't aware of. And any youngsters listening, hopefully you don't go down that path where you get incarcerated. But if you do, here's a little game for you. Free game for you. It's Friday. Free game Friday. You could have ink on you, right? And it could be horrible. It could be good ink. But you got ink on you. And at some point, someone might be like, hey, Holmes, you got a lot of ink on you. Or, hey, Holmes, you got some good ink on you. That's cool. It doesn't matter how it starts. But the real question is this. Hey, who did that, Holmes? Who put that ink on you? That is a serious question. A lot of people wouldn't understand that question. Like, oh, the homie so-and-so. I've always said that, when I went to YA, I hung out with the dudes that had 3, 4, 5, 6 years in already because I wanted to learn, right? When I got to the joint, I gravitated towards dudes who were established, dudes who had been in the shoe, dudes who had game and conducted themselves in a manner in which I would conduct myself. And I learned from them. And I learned early, when you get ink on you, that's for life. Who puts that on you, you better know. Who is this dude? Like, where's he from? Where's he been? What has he done? Because you could have excellent artwork on you. And let's say you got on a level 3, boom, and then you get into some stuff and you go to level 4. Even if it's on a level 4, who knows? Doesn't matter. But you got some good ink on you, right? And it doesn't have to be hot ink, right? It doesn't have to be war paint that makes you obligated for something. It's just ink. And it will come up and it could even be, before someone really wants to know, it could be somebody you're cool with. But the people around you are always listening to they're holding a whole conversation. They're conducting a whole conversation with this dude right here. And they're listening to your conversation. I used to do it all the time. It's important. It's important that you are able to keep track of 2 or 3 conversations going on at the same time while you're engaged in a conversation. Be able to hold that conversation so people don't even know you're taking in everything around you. That's important in California systems. So somebody, homie, hey, you got some freedom at work, fool? Who did that? Oh, so-and-so from so-and-so. And the dude next to you, you're not even conversing with, his antennas just went up. He's going to just glance over and see the ink and make sure he knows who's having the conversation. And the wheels start turning. See, if you let a dude work on you, you must have been cool with them. You may have been his celly. Did you know that he locked it up in this other joint? If you didn't, why didn't you know? What kind of yard were you on? Who was the leadership of that yard? You didn't check his 128. It turns into a whole thing. And you may wind up getting whacked because of the guy that put ink on you. California is different, man. People know that the politics are very strict, very organized and regimented out here. But they don't know the ins and outs. Ink is very dangerous in California. Like I said, it could be the guy that put the ink on you could get you in a bind. It could be the ink itself that you put on yourself. I can tell you from firsthand knowledge, not all legends are the same. They don't all think exactly the same. But I have heard on more than one occasion from a legend directly, somebody has a certain thing on them, they can never say no. And if it's someone that gets on someone's nerves, a legend's nerves, believe that he's going to have to earn that repeatedly. How's he going to say no? He can't. These certain tattoos obligate a person. So how you say no? You got that on you, right? That don't even belong to you. It's being leased out to you. Kind of. So while you're doing that, while you have that and you can't cover it up, you already put it on you. You ain't covering that up. What you mean? You were serious when you got it, right? You were putting yourself in position to obligate yourself for the rest of your life when you did that. You know that, right? Oh no, I was 16. Well, then you started young. And you have some things you got to take care of. So those are just two different scenarios, man, of how dangerous ink is in California. Now, things have changed, but who wants to find out? Who wants to put something on them and find out how much it's changed? You don't. Believe me. It's my video for today, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out of here.